Hello everyone, so in this video I want to talk about open source technologies. Now on this channel I talk about a lot of things like Linux, especially Arch Linux. I talk about org mode, I talk about Emacs, I make videos on Kdenlive, and I have a lot of videos on LaTeX, and recently I have been making videos on Beamer. So open source technologies is actually one of my focus on this channel, and I make videos not to make videos. I make videos because I think I have something small to share. So for me it is just sharing something. Now I have been using open source for many years, and I think based on my experience, based on people I work with, people I interact with, I think if you are someone who is already into tech, let us say you are a developer, maybe you are in some profession related to IT, I think you should definitely consider and give it a try about using Linux, open source, or general adoption of open source technologies, and it will significantly improve your life. Now, what I think you should do is you should definitely try to use Linux, and people who use Linux and they get frustrated with it, I think they never really spend too much time with it. And to be honest, that is true. If you are trying to learn or trying to use Linux, or let us say Emacs, org mode, then it is definitely frustrating. But if you give it enough time, then it will definitely change your life, because you will then realize that life is so much different. You can do a lot of wonderful things when you learn these things. To be honest, right now you don't really know what you're missing, and it is not just about using open source slash free technologies. It is more about how you can customize it to make it your own. For example, just to give you an example, because if you are using, or if you have been using Windows or Mac, they both are great operating systems. To be honest, I have no complaints. I have nothing against Windows or Mac, but there is a limit of what you can do with Windows and Mac. Of course, you can have shortcuts, you can use variety of softwares to enhance your experience, but in Linux you have the ability to customize potentially each and everything. Yes, that is true. For example, if you are using Arch Linux, you basically set up, you have the option to set up your own operating system the way you want. For example, I use Arch Linux with suckless utilities like dmenu, stterminal, and I have been using Arch Linux, I believe, for, I think it has been three years, I guess. Yeah, I think it will be 3 years, more than 3 years. Although I have been using Fedora, I have always used Fedora, but I was never really, I mean, of course I did a lot of customizations, but the level of customizations and tweaking that you can do with Arch Linux, it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing, because you can you can actually customize each and everything. So if you're using Arch Linux, then you will, especially if you're using Arch Linux with suckless utilities like dmenu and the tiling window manager, DWM, along with stterminal, you will basically make it your own. You will basically have your own shortcuts, and you won't be using mouse. There is nothing against using mouse, to be honest, but if you're using only keyboard, if you can do a lot of, so whenever you interact with computer, you have to, of course, interact with it using either a keyboard or a mouse. And if you can limit the usage of mouse, then you can be super efficient. For example, if you are if you have written your own shell script to do something, now of course you can invoke it from the terminal, but you can also assign it a shortkey. And good thing about command line based utilities is that you can combine multiple commands together, and that will actually let you do a lot of wonderful things in series. So that is the great thing. And the example that I want to give you is about the videos that I make. Now, when I make a video, earlier I was using OBS. I used OBS, but OBS was a bit slow, and I was not massively happy with the videos that I was producing. Then I moved to FFmpeg. Now I have a shell script that will record my desktop, and I can tell my shell script, or basically FFmpeg, that record my monitor and record this region. And whenever I'm recording my monitor, I also record my mic. I also record my desktop audio. I also change the intro music and outro music because I have shortcuts. So when I'm making a video, I not only share my screen, but I also bring my webcam, which is basically a small window that you see normally in my videos on the top corner somewhere. And I can also zoom in and zoom out because I have shortcuts that control the webcam. And when I start the video or when I end the video, I can also increase the outro music, or I can actually play a separate outro video altogether, or maybe intro video. And when I'm doing it, I also mute my mic. So basically everything, my video production happens in one go. And whenever I get a video out of it, I just upload it. And when I upload the video, of course I have thumbnail, and the thumbnail is also generated using a script. So this is just one example that I want to give you, but there's so many things that I do. And when you're using Linux, you will learn about configuration files. You will also learn about how to version control your configurations files with other when you have your configurations, you want to keep your configurations in sync. So there are so many things that you can learn, and this is of course about the operating system. I also use org mode for personal task management. I also use org mode with LaTeX to make documents, and it is amazing. If you are able to manage your life, whatever you're doing, because we have so many things to do, and when it comes to doing something, like when it comes to planning your work, we all need a system. That system could be a notepad, like a physical notepad, or you can actually use computer. You can use Jira, but Jira is of course for collaboration, which I talk about of course on my other channel, my Ravi Sagar channel. But with the help of org mode, you can actually plan your life. You can actually improve the quality of your life, because you will feel in control. You will feel good about whatever you wanted to do 2 years ago. You have done it, so you can actually make your goals, and you can then break down your goals into actual activities that you can plan to do something every day. So you can use the agenda feature of org mode. You can use the capture feature. So on this channel, I do talk about a lot of these wonderful things. And what I wanted to share is that the main thing is that if you want to learn Linux, first of all, you should definitely give it a try if you're into tech. Second, give it some time. It could be Linux, it could be org mode, it could be Emacs, or it could be any other open source technology. You have to give it some time, because you have to make it your own. So when you're using Linux, in the beginning, of course, you can use Ubuntu or Fedora, but you should, if you want to get the most out of Linux, then you should definitely learn how to customize it. For example, if you're using computers and thinking of using Linux, or maybe you're already using Linux, then also learn a little bit of shell scripting, because with the help of shell scripting you can then do some automation. And there are so many things that you need to learn, and you would learn, but you have to give it some time. Don't just start using Linux and after a week or two just give up. So when you start using Linux, feel free to try different operating systems, like different distros. But for me, I'm not really a distro hopping guy. I don't really do I'm not really obsessed with different window managers. For me, a computer, an operating system is basically a system that will get the job done. And for me, I think Arch Linux works amazingly well, especially with serverless utilities. So that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. And if you have any questions, do reach out to me. As part of my day job for living, I provide consultancy around Atlassian tools like Jira. but I think I can also be an open source consultant because I do use open source quite a lot. And if you have any questions, do reach out to me. More than happy to help you if I can. All right, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.